Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful sunny day here today, as you guys can see. It's the start of spring. Summer's around the corner. Feeling positive, feeling optimistic, and ready to go. And it is the end of March as well, which means there's going to be another update from the Journey to 1,000 Pound series, which is a powerlifting journey where we're trying to go from January of 2024 to the end of April of 2024, and we're trying to increase our total weight lifted from 860 to 1,000 pounds lifted between the three main lifts, namely being bench, deadlift, and then squats. And today will be episode 7, and it will be the bench update for the month of March. And prior to going into the bench session, we're currently at 925 pounds lifted between our three main lifts. So we've made some decent progress, but have some ways to go still. So let's see if we actually improve that today with the bench session. And but yeah, prior to going to the session itself, the session clip itself, we're going to go through a quick summary clip, which will give you guys a great overview of the whole series and get you guys caught up to date, especially if you've never watched one of my videos. So yeah, we're just going to go straight into that, and then afterwards we'll go into the bench session. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. Okay, peace out. Hey, hello there guys, welcome back. Now we're gonna go through the summary clip, which is gonna be like somewhat of a quick overview of what we're trying to do throughout the whole series. And in this summary clip, we're gonna be discussing three major parts. The first part is gonna be discussing what's our goals. The second part is gonna be discussing how we plan to get to those goals. And thirdly, we're gonna be discussing how we're gonna go about documenting the whole journey. So let's jump straight into part 1 of the summary clip, which is gonna be what's our goal. So in terms of our goal is gonna be twofold for this journey. The first part of our goal is going to be a powerlifting goal where we're trying to lift 1,000 pounds combined between our three main power lifts, namely bench, squat, and deadlift. And this started at the start of January of 2024 and will go all the way through to the end of April of 2024. So it's a 4-month journey. And at the start of the journey, our total lift combined between our three main lifts was 860 pounds. So this 860 pounds included a 225 pound bench, a 355 pound deadlift, and a 280 pound squat. So our goal is to gain 140 pounds of basically weight lifted gained in 4 months. So yeah, it's a big ambitious goal. So it's going to be an interesting journey for sure. And the second part of our goal is going to be a flexibility goal. So I'm really tight. No, my whole body is pretty tight, but I'm trying to get looser and I'm trying to get more flexible and more agile. And we're going to be tracking our flexibility as we go along for the 4 months, but we're going to be focusing on 5 major stretches, 5 major compound stretches, which mainly focus on the hip area and the lower body area, which is where I'm the tightest at. So these 5 stretches are going to be the split, which is going to include the front and side split, the standing hip to knee stretch, the pancake, the pigeon pose, and lastly, the reclining hero, which hit all the major parts where I'm the tightest at. So those are our goals. Now we're going to go into part 2, which is going to be discussing how do we plan to achieve those goals. So for part 2, we're going to be breaking it down into part 2A, which is going to be more focused on powerlifting, and part 2B, which is going to be focused on flexibility. So for part 2A, we'll be discussing how we plan to achieve our powerlifting goals. And for powerlifting, just like any other physical endeavor, is going to be focused on 2 major aspects, which is going to be training and diet. So starting with the diet, it's just pretty straightforward for my diet. I'm just trying to do like a bunch of task list bullet points. The first one is going to be trying to consume a caloric surplus every day of 300 calories. And second thing is going to be consuming a gram of protein per pound of body weight. And third part is going to be consuming 5 to 10 grams of creatine every single day. And lastly, we'll make sure to sleep at least 8 hours every night to induce muscle growth basically. And yeah, this is being done completely natural with just creatine and protein supplements being taken. So with the diet out of the way, now let's move on to the training. So in terms of training, in order to improve our powerlifting numbers, we're going to be focusing on 3 main aspects. The first part is going to be technique, the second part is going to be hypertrophy, and the third part is going to be neural adaptation. So let's briefly go through all 3 and see how we can use them to improve our powerlifting numbers. So then let's start off with technique. So technique is like an easy way of improving your powerlifting numbers without actually having to build more muscle or having to recruit more muscle. So technique is all about improving your body mechanics and improving your lift efficiency. And the way we plan to do this is by recording ourselves while doing our lifts, and through watching ourselves basically lift the lifts, we'll be able to see where we can improve our technique and where our weak links are in the lifts and where we need to do more work on specific muscle groups. And not only would technique help improve the powerlifting numbers, but would also help me keep me safe from any injury that can be associated with any of the lifts. And so that's technique. Number 2 is going to be hypertrophy, which is all about muscle, and it's all about building more muscle. And the way to do this is obviously by creating micro tears in the muscle and dieting well and sleeping well in order for the muscle to build back stronger and better. And the way we're going to be going about doing this in the gym is through the power lifts, number 1. Number 2, through isolated exercises after we do our power lifts. So the way we plan to train is by splitting our sessions into 3 sessions of push, pull, or legs, which start off with free weight compound exercises and then move on to machine isolated exercises to finish off our workouts. And thirdly, we're going to go through neural adaptation. Neural adaptation basically means improving your muscle recruitment ability and also improving your coordination and your body's ability to handle stress. And the way to do this is by putting your body through heavy load, low rep exercises, which prime your body to being okay with handling a lot of weight, number 1, and it will teach it to recruit more muscle to lift the weights stronger every time. And it will also improve your coordination so that you actually lift more without having to recruit more muscle. So through heavyweight low rep exercises, we'll be able to achieve better neural adaptation and lift heavier weights. And the problem with all this is I'm doing heavy sets, high intensity, all that. So it's going to take a lot of stress on the body, on the muscles, and especially on the nervous system, which is going to diminish our lift capabilities. So we have to make sure we take adequate rest between our sessions. So I'll be taking a minimum of 2 days rest and a maximum of 4-day or 5-day rest, depending on how I'm feeling, but a minimum of 2 days between lifting sessions in order to make sure I'm well recovered and I'm not being injury prone or inducing any plateaus in terms of our lifts. So that is it for our powerlifting goal. Now let's move on to our flexibility goal. For flexibility goals, the way we plan to achieve our goals is by doing 30-minute full body stretches prior to bedtime every other night, not every single night, because when you stretch, you kind of tear the muscles in a sense, so you need a bit of recovery time. But we'll do it every other night, and we'll do 30-minute body stretches, but we'll focus more on the 5 major stretches by holding those ones for 1.5 minutes compared to the other ones, which will only hold for 30 seconds to a minute at a time. And so that is it for how we plan to achieve our goals. Now let's move on to part 3. Well then, boys, welcome to the last part of the summary clip, which is going to be where we'll be discussing how we're going to go about documenting our journey. So for this journey, we're going to be posting 3 videos every month. The first one is going to be for a bench session. The second one is going to be for a deadlift session. And the third one is going to be for a squat session. And the last video of every month will also contain a flexibility update to show our progress for the month in terms of our flexibility, and mainly in terms of our 5 major stretches. And the last month in April, instead of doing 3 videos, we'll only do 1 video, which will act like a finale to our series, where we'll do all our 3 main lifts in the same day and in the same video, as well as do 1 final flexibility update to finish off the series. So in total, there will be 10 videos, 3 videos every month, except for April, which will only have 1 video. And that is everything for our summary. Now let's go back to the lifting session with a future Eba. So I'll see you guys there. All right, peace out. All right then, boys and girls, welcome back. Now we're going to move on to the bench press session, where as usual, we're going to do some warm-up sets on our way up to a PR attempt, and then we're going to do a PR attempt, and then we're going to do a couple working sets afterwards. Without further ado, let's go into the warm-up set and analyze our form and talk about how we plan to execute them in order to be prepared for our PR attempt. So yeah, we're going to start with the 185s today. I did do a 135, but I did it on the other bench. There was somebody here, and the camera angle was a bit shit, so I was like, fuck it, we'll just scratch that and just start with the 185s for the video. And here we are. I think we just did 3 reps on that one. And as usual for the warm-up sets, we're trying to do a couple things. The first part is to get good blood flow going in the muscles and get them warmed up prior to the PR attempt. And the second thing we're trying to do is get our nervous system ready to be able to handle a lot of weight. So on each warm-up set, we pretend like it's very, very heavy weight on us, and we do a proper forming technique, proper bracing, and we explode from the bottom position. That way our nervous system is ready by the time we get to our PR attempt, and hopefully will aid us in lifting more weight, basically. So yeah, especially in terms of concentration, just getting to that zone and focus and ready to go for like maximal output, basically. So yeah, I think we just did a 205 prior to this one over here, and I think this is the last warm-up set prior to the PR attempt. So yeah, let's go ahead and quickly analyze our form for this one. Okay, so first of all, prior going into the drop let's quickly analyze the form over here. In terms of our positioning, I think it's pretty good. Our legs are tucked behind our knees over here, and they're both driving to the floor over there. So as much as you want your whole body to be as stiff as you possibly can, and you want to use your legs to drive into the floor, so that obviously if you're driving into the floor is driving into you, so you can lift more weight that way. So you have to engage your legs in order to lift more weight. And the second thing is obviously bracing your core, engulfing some air in there, and then bracing your core and holding it stiff throughout the whole movement. That way your whole body is like a springboard, basically ready for the weight to come down and come back up again. And another thing is the arc of the bar path, so it has to come in an arc, come back up in the opposite way, and that's just for optimal basically movement in order to be able to lift as much weight as possible. And apart from that, you just want your shoulders retracted, your scapula retracted, and chest puffed out, and create a bit of an arc on the back over here. And then yeah, just fucking pray to God and bring her down and bring her back up again. So let's see how she went. So I'll just erase all this gibber over here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay, now let's press play and see how she went. So on the way down, a bit of an arc. Yep, an arc over here on the back as well. Sweet. Okay. And on the way up, I was not as stiff as I would like to be. My legs were jiggling over here, especially the right leg over here was not stiff the whole way down. On the way down, but on the way up, it was kind of shaking a bit, which kind of loses the tension that we developed. So like it decreases the amount of weight we can lift back up. So yeah, definitely need to work on that in a sense. Every time I do bench, in order to basically improve my lifts, is to focus and make sure that my legs are stiff and they're both driving into the floor. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to the PR attempt then. And for the PR attempt, if I can roll it back right here, once we finish this set over here, and I put on 245, sorry, and then I put on a 5-pound plate, and then I come over here, I take off all the weights obviously, and then I go and grab a 45 from a buddy over there doing leg presses. I put them on, and I forget to put the 5-pound plates on this side. So two things. First of all, it's unbalanced. Number two, we're hoping to hit 235 today, but it's going to end up being 230. So yeah, I did not even realize it until I saw the video. That's how stupid I was. I was just zoned in that I forgot. Yeah, what can I say? But it is what it is. We go past it and we'll see if we actually hit 230 this time around. So yeah, here we are going back down. Let's see. Boom. All right, raise the core and up. Okay, we did come up, so that was good. I think we could have possibly handled 5 more pounds, but at the end of the day, we did improve by 5 pounds. It's not much, but 230 it is. And yeah, we move on with the working set now. So yeah, here we are with the 185s. As usual, on these ones, we try to slow our tempo down and really work on the weak positions in our lifts. So especially my weakest position for me is in the initial stages of lifting the weight back up again. So I try to really slow it down and really explode from the bottom, so that I'm primed for that position, so that when I get to the PR attempts, I don't falter halfway, like a quarter way up from my lift from my chest, basically. So yeah, here we are. I think we did 7 reps on these. Our max attempt before was 6, so we increased by 1 rep, so that was great. So I think this is my 6th, and then I'll go for 1 more over here. So let's see how she goes. Bring her back down and just pushing, driving the legs. That was actually a good leg drive prior to the top part where it started jiggling about, but like in the middle portion, yes, you guys saw, was stiff. That way I could push the weight back up again. So yeah. Again, since we're doing drop sets for this, we're going to quickly take off the 25-pound plates on each side, catch our breath, and then go back into it again. So yeah, when I do drop sets on the dropper set, I usually try to really slow down the lift, especially on the decentric portion. That way I induce control over the weight and I train my balancing muscles, so in my core. That way when I get to heavier and heavier weights, my balance is improved, and I can make sure I'm not like going side to side, or my legs are not jittering as much as I possibly can, and create a stiff board, basically a stiff body. That way the weight can come back up, down and up easily. So yeah, here we are then. We're going to do a few more reps over here. I'll just double speed it here. And yeah, I just got tired there a bit, so I just had to catch my breath for a second. But yeah, here we are again. We keep going. It's all going to failure. There's no like specific like reps I'm trying to hit. It's all about I'm just gonna keep going until I can't. So yeah. Now we got to the limit, but I knew I had some few more in me, so I was like, all right, let me catch my breath right quick. Put the weight back on the bar over there, back on the hangers over there, and then I think I had a few more in me. I was pretty sure I had a few more in me, so I lifted back up again. I did catch my breath a bit, so I did have a bit more energy. So yeah, let's go out, rep out a few reps over here. That's 3, that's 4. Okay, now we're getting tired. Now the muscles really starting to fatigue, but I think we might have a few more in us. That's 1. Boom. Okay. All right. Boom. All right. That was it. We are done. So yeah. So that is it for the bench press session today. By the looks of it, we did not hit 235. We did hit 230 though. So that was a positive, I guess. That takes our total weight lifted to 930 pounds, a 5-pound increase. It's fantastic. I know, right? But yeah, we still have 70 fucking pounds to go. So our deadlift and our squat must come through this week heavy. Hopefully you can get 20 pounds on each side and get up to 970 before the last episode of the series. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Now we're gonna go to the deadlift video, which will come out like in 2 or 3 days, so not too long after this one. So yeah, I'll see you guys there. Have a great weekend and peace out. All right, bye.